Hi everyone, I'm Mr. Thomas from Pensacola State College Library and Kids College. Today we're going to be reading How I Became a Pirate by Melinda Long. Then we're going to make a cool straw airplane. Now is a really good time for a parent or a caregiver to grab a couple supplies for our craft. You're going to need some straws, a ruler, some paper, a pen, some tape, and then some scissors. I'm not going to throw these. Now let's read our story. How I Became a Pirate by Melinda Long and illustrated by David Shannon. Pirates have green teeth, when they have any teeth at all. I know about pirates because one day when I was beach building a sandcastle and minding my own business, a pirate ship sailed into view. I knew what it was because it had a flag with a skull and crossbones on it, and because I could hear the pirates singing, "Hey ho, blow the man down." They were a little off key. I tried to tell Dad, but he was busy setting up the beach umbrella. I tried to tell Mom, but she was busy slathering my baby sister with sunblock. So I went back to my sandcastle, but I kept an eye on the pirates. By then, they were rowing to shore. When they landed, the head pirate climbed out of the boat and yelled, "Ahoy there, matey! Be this the Spanish Main?" "No," I said, "this is North Beach." "Shiver me timbers," the pirate said. "We must have taken a wrong turn at Bora Bora." He walked around my sandcastle. He looked at the moat and yelled back to his crew, "He's a digger, he is, and a good one to boot." "A good one to boot," the others agreed. "What be your name, matey?" the head pirate asked. "Jeremy Jacob, sir," I told him. "Well, Jeremy Jacob," he said, "you're looking at Braidbeard and his crew, and we be needing a digger like yourself. We've a chest of treasure to bury." "Aye, treasure!" the others shouted. "You're coming with us," Braidbeard told me. I didn't think Mom and Dad would mind as long as I was back in time for soccer practice the next day. That's how I became a pirate. As soon as we were on board, Braidbeard showed me the chest of gold and jewels. "Got to find a safe place for this here treasure. It's high time we're off," he announced. "We're off!" the others shouted, and then we set sail. There was plenty to do on board. The pirates taught me to sing sea chanties, the louder the better, and to say real pirate stuff like "landlubber" and "scurvy dog." By dinner time, I could speak pirate perfectly. I also learned pirate manners. Braidbeard pounded his fist on the tables and yelled, "Down that, me laddies! Down that!" we all shouted. Braidbeard gulped his food and said, "Hand over the meat!" "The meat!" we all roared. Nobody told us to finish our spinach. There wasn't any. Or to chew up our carrots. Those weren't allowed on board. We talked with our mouths full, and nobody said please or thank you. After dinner, I tried to teach the pirates to play soccer. Braidbeard kicked the ball and yelled, "Arg, soccer! Arg, soccer!" the crew yelled. Then everybody dove for the ball at once and it rolled right off the deck. "After it, ye hearties," Braidbeard commanded. "After it?" we all whispered. We fought over who would go get the ball, but it didn't matter anyway because a shark came along and swallowed it in one gulp. So much for soccer. By now it was past my bedtime. But nobody tells pirates to go to bed, to take a bath, or brush their teeth. Maybe that's why their teeth are green. Pirates sleep with one eye open, just in case, and they don't change into pajamas, unless they want to. Pirates don't do anything they don't want to, except for maybe swabbing the decks. I wanted to be a pirate forever. But then I found out what else they don't do. When I couldn't stay awake any longer, I asked Braidbeard to tuck me in and read me a story. "Tuck you in?" he bellowed. "Pirates don't tuck! No tucking!" the crew cried. And the only thing they had to read was a map. "Don't you have any books?" I asked. Braidbeard looked confused. "Books?" I didn't even bother to ask for a good night kiss. It wasn't easy to fall asleep without a story, but I was finally dozing off when a storm broke. Thunder boomed and lightning flashed. I tried to hide under the covers as the waves smashed up against the side of the ship, but I kept falling out of my hammock. I couldn't find anyone in the cabin. They were all out on deck. "Lower the sails!" Braidbeard shouted. "Batten down the hatches!" Everybody ran around yelling and lowering and battening. Nobody had time to sit close and tell me it'd be over soon. Nobody even noticed me. I decided I didn't want to be a pirate after all. Just then, flash, crash, crack! Lightning hit the mast and split it right down the middle. "What'll we do now?" yelled one of the pirates. We have to turn back. But the treasure, hollered Braidbeard. Where will we bury the treasure? I stepped forward. Maybe I can help, I shouted over the wind. I think I know the perfect digging spot. When the storm was over, we rowed back to shore and buried the chest. We drew a map so we could find the treasure again, but I don't think I'll need it. After that, the pirates repaired the ship and got ready to set sail. Before they left, Braidbeard handed me a flag and said, You make a fine pirate, Jeremy Jacob. Guard that treasure well. We'll be back for it soon enough. Soon enough, the crew repeated. And if you ever need us, Braidbeard added, just run the Jolly Roger up yonder pole. Up yonder pole, the others shouted. And maybe I will, but not today. I have soccer practice. Alright, I hope you enjoyed the story. Now we're going to make our craft. Now again, we're going to make these really cool straw airplanes. You probably have some straws laying around from a fast food restaurant or somewhere at home. But really all you need is straw, some tape, and some paper. But really the biggest thing is just going to be prepping the whole thing. Let me show you how to get started. So again, this is all that you're going to make, or all you're going to need to make this. But the big thing that you're going to need to make are these little strips of paper. These are going to be 1 by 4 inches long, and they're really easy to cut out and make if you've just got a plan. Now if you've got a really good ruler like I've got, it makes it even easier. So why don't we start with that? Let's move a lot of these things out of the way. Now my ruler happens to be about 1 inch wide, so it works out pretty well for me. So we're gonna measure this out, and you can make a lot of these all at once. You really only need 3 per plane, but you can go ahead and make a lot and experiment with a couple things. Now this ruler is, again, about 1 inch wide. It's a little more narrow than that, but I like to just go with that and kind of work with there. You can make it any size that you want. Go ahead and experiment with any of these. You can try all kinds of different sizes, because the paper is really what's gonna determine how well your plane flies. So again, these are about 1 inch wide, and it works out pretty well. Now we need to measure about 4 inches long. Now my ruler is about 12 inches. It's a little bit older, and it's been kind of rubbed down on the edges, so it's gonna work out okay. We can get about 3 per strip here that we have. So I'm just gonna make these lines really quick and show you how fast we can do it. We've got 4, then another would be 8, and another would be 12. So really we only had to make 2 marks to do this. And now, because we've just got our straight edge, typically it's best to use the edge of the table for this. But we'll just kind of use the straight edge of the paper here and just kind of eye it. It doesn't have to be an exact thing for it. Again, it's fun to experiment with a lot of these, and we can go from here. So cool, we've got kind of our layout for all this. This is a good chance that you can play tic-tac-toe as well if you'd like to do that too. Now it's just a matter of kind of cutting these out. I'm gonna speed this up so you guys don't have to watch all of this. If you want to make it go even faster, you can even just kind of line these up. Again, they don't have to be perfect, but you can just kind of line these up and snip out all of these lickety-split. So we've got a bunch of sheets of little strips of paper. You know, these are going to be about 1 by 4, and that's what you're going to need for this. But this is going to make kind of the wings of our plane. And again, you're going to need 3 per plane that you're working with. So this is what the plane looks like when it's finished. And again, you can decorate it however you want to go from there. It's gonna look a lot better if you do decorate it. Use some different colored paper and stuff from here. But all you're gonna need from here are 3 pieces of tape and your straw. I like to use longer straws, mostly because they work a lot better, I think. They just work better. I just think it's a lot more fun to throw a longer straw. It'll hang in the air for a lot longer as well. But what you'll do with your first sheet of paper rather, is that you're gonna go ahead and make a little loop. That's all you're gonna have to do, just make a quick little loop and then just tape it off. So I got some new tape here. It's not my favorite tape. I like to use kind of the matte, kind of cloudy colored tape. Clear tape is nice if you want to use that, but this one doesn't tear off very well. And there you go, you've made your first little loop. Now what you need with the other 2 is that you're going to combine these 2. So what you do is you just kind of overlap one. You don't have to really, I like to just eye about a quarter, maybe 1/4 of an inch, not even that long. Just overlap that just a little bit and then tape it off from there. You take a little piece of tape and you cover that up. And then you've got a longer strip for here. Now to make the rest of the circle, the best thing to do is with the tape on the outside, then make the rest of the loop. If you did it tape on the inside, it's not gonna work as well. You're gonna get a weird kind of buckling effect, and that's just not gonna work for it. So instead, you wanna make sure that you always have the tape on the outside, and then finish off the loop. And again, about 1/4 inch, you can kind of eye it. You can kind of go with however big you want it. The bigger it is on the the wider, the larger that it is, a little bit easier it's going to be for the next part. But I like to just say about 1/4 inch. That is an awful piece of tape that I did for that. But you know what? It's going to work. Again, it's just an example. The top looks really nice though. Now here's the tough part. Now that we've got our 3 pieces of our plane, we need to assemble it. What it's going to look like is it's going to look like this. You have a small circle on one end and the large circle on the other. Now the tough part is just getting the tape around this piece of the straw. So go ahead and take a piece of tape. And this is when you're going to, I like to start with the back end, and then you kind of go along on the inside. You're just gonna kind of tape this along to it. So this is what it'll look like when you actually do it. I'm losing all my stuff. Just take this and you will plant it on the inside. So hopefully you guys can see that all right. But so you're just gonna tape it on the inside. The straighter you make it, the better it's gonna fly. But again, you can experiment, kind of play around with it. You can do a lot of different ways to do it. That's what it's gonna look like on the back end. Now on the front end, it's just gonna be one. And it's hard because of, if you've got smaller hands, it's gonna be a lot easier to make it fit within that. But again, you wanna make it as straight as possible, so kind of just line it up with one end. Now you're gonna need a smaller piece of tape for this one, and I think I just tore off a slightly too big piece. But the best thing I like to do is I like to kind of fold it and then tuck that inside. So let's see if I can make this work so that you guys can see it. And you're just gonna tuck it inside, plant it on top of the straw, and then kind of even it out. And if I say so myself, I did an okay job there. A little too far on the inside there, so I'm gonna redo this part. And see, you can make mistakes, you can do all kinds of stuff. I'm even gonna use a totally different color because that one's kind of ruined at this point. But again, that's why you use a large sheet of paper to make it easy. It's a lot easier to go from there. So again, kind of overlap this about 1/4 inch. Put it back together. That's working much better for me today. Now I'm just gonna take a little piece of tape to tear this off. And again, kind of wanna fold it. And again, you wanna go with as far to the end, kind of line it up as you can. If you have it back here, it's not gonna fly as well. Still fly, but if you have it right at the very end, it's gonna fly super duper well. So you take that, cover it up. Just be careful. There we go, that's looking pretty good. And that's your plane. It's really, that's it. It's pretty easy to make this thing. And again, if you've got a lot of straws, a lot of paper, you can make all different kinds, all different sizes. Maybe you want to use 3 sheets of paper for the back end. Maybe you just want to use 2 for the front. You can play around with it. Let's see how this thing flies. All right, so I'm way down here. Let's see how it flies. What you can even do to make it kind of cool is to give it a little bit of a spin. So give it a little twist down at the end. Work on your quarterback skill. Let's see what we can do. Not bad, practice with it, see if you can get some better throws. I was hoping it would make it all the way to the camera, but it's pretty far away. Again, play with the back end, maybe adding 3 sheets of paper would make it a little better. Not bad, play around with it, see if you can make a better one. Prove us wrong, prove us that you can make the best one. Hope you enjoyed today's story and craft. We'll see you again next week for more. Have a great day.